their hearts go astray because they did not know the ways of God. This is one of the case study that we use in Heartformation programs for us to know that when you don't understand the ways of God, the probability that your heart will go astray from God is very, very high. And when it goes astray from God, you lose the journey. So that's a typical example. The children of Israel, God said they will not enter that land because their heart always go astray. Why? Because they did not understand the ways of God. And this particular people, few of them, Caleb and Joshua in particular, in the same camp, the same God, the same situation, the same circumstances, the same scenario. What differentiates them? What made them to be outstanding? What made them to be different out of many? Because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follow me wholeheartedly. That is, the heart of Caleb and Joshua is right with God. It's not astray from God. And the spirit, which is the spirit that we talked about, that brings productivity, that has the creative energy. He was able, because once your heart is right with God, the spirit will work well for you. The Holy Spirit, you find it there. That was the spirit that gave him the sermon that time. When others were seeing giants, they did not see giants. They saw prospects. They saw opportunities. They saw great things because of the spirit. And it starts from the heart that does not go astray from God. He said, I will bring them to that particular land. Our time is fast spent, but that particular case study, it's very important for us to always remember that when the heart of man go astray from God, God will change his mind and journey will be lost. How does the heart of man go astray from God? When the ways of God is not considered in our life. If you don't understand the ways of God, or you don't walk by the ways of God, or you are not applying the will and way of God in your life, obviously your heart goes astray and you lose the journey. Because once your heart is not connected with God, losing the journey is inevitable. Because I don't know how you want to get there when you get disconnected with your map or your GPS. So God knows the way. God has the way. And it is only the way of God that can get you to the destination. So why will you now disassociate yourself with the one that knows the way? So they lost the journey. But the one that did not lose the journey is the one that followed him wholeheartedly. He followed him wholeheartedly, so he did not lose the way. How does our heart go astray? I'm going to run through all this. It's important that we'll do at least 2 sessions today. So we have moved to session 10 right now. The first one is 9, which is what we actually did today. All what we have done earlier is a recap, so that we can have this holistic view of what it's all about. And I believe we've actually gained a lot there. So that ends 9. So the 9 that we did today is basically the case study. And we also look at the will of God. We look at the ultimate goal, that Christ will dwell in our heart. That's the ultimate goal. The will of God is that our soul prosper. And the ultimate goal is that Christ dwell in our heart. And we look at these 2 case studies. The case study of the children of Israel, why they lost their journey. We have just 2 key points there. They lost their journey because their heart always go astray and they have not known God's way. And we have the second people that fulfill their journey, which is Joshua and Caleb. And the Lord stated categorically, he said they followed him wholeheartedly. and they have a different spirit. That's how they make the journey. So for session 9 now, how does our heart go astray? This is also very, very important. I'm going to go through a lot of things. I believe I'll do justice in 15, 20 minutes. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 10. He said, that is why I was angry with that generation. We are continuing from that, what we did in 9. I said, their acts are always going astray, and they have not known my ways. We are making emphasis on going astray. Proverbs 21, 22. Remember this scripture. He said, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. So the acts keep coming in on how a man gets to his destination, how purpose is being fulfilled, how journey is being achieved. The acts keep coming, the acts keep coming, the heart keep coming. So every way of a man is right in his own eye, but the Lord weighs the heart. Factors that influence the heart of man. This is very important. Do you remember this scripture, Psalm 1? He said, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the ways of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of God. Can you see the way we are matching these things together? Remember when we are talking of soul prosperity, we said the way your soul can prosper is when Christ dwells in your heart. We also talked about people that lost their journey and people that fulfilled their journey, that because they follow God wholeheartedly and some knows the ways of God, some did not know the ways of God. Now, talk about this, he's still talking about the laws of God. Everything has to be joined together so that we can get the general view of it. He said, but his delight is in the law of God, and he meditates day and night. The laws of God is talking about scriptures, because it is in the scripture that you know God's constitution, God's law, God's principle, God's promises, your responsibility, everything you see in the scripture. He said his delight is in it, and he meditates on it day and night. That's what I just explained when I was giving some examples there. Day and night is like a tree. When a man begins to meditate day and night, and his delight is in the law of God, it will be like a tree that is planted by the stream of water, that yields its fruit every season. That is, it stays connected. That's right. So the flows of all that it needed to survive, all that it needed to continue to be fruitful, is always there. And the leaf does not wither. Of course, when you stay connected, the leaf will not wither. In all that it does, it prospers. The wicked are not so, but they are like chaff that the wind drives away. Praise the Lord. Now, we just want to look at the factor that influence the heart of man. And if you look critically at these scriptures, you can get a lot from it. He said, for a man that will be blessed of God, he will not be found around this place. Right inside it, he also tells us what that man does. So the first thing that I bring there literally now, some of the factors that influence the heart of men. You know, I taught us about cultural liturgies. We have the spiritual and religious liturgies. What that talks about is activities. We have the secular activities. They affect our heart. The religious activities affect our heart too. So when you see a man telling you that, why are you going to the club? Let us go to Jesus Music Festival. Why are you going to that worldly program? Why can't you come for gospel TV program? It is because they are trying to guide your heart. Remember that scripture? He didn't say God will guide your heart for you. God doesn't guide your heart for you. He said, guide your heart with all diligence. That is not my responsibility. It is your own. That's why you need to understand God's law, God's ways. God can do everything, but God doesn't do everything. He's very powerful. He can do anything. Yeah, I agree. Scripture said that too. But by principle and law, because he said, my word I have exalted above my name. He has sealed it, swear by two immutable things, oath and promise. Do you understand? So God has decided that you will be the one to guide your heart. It's not the angels. It's not God. It's not Jesus. It is your responsibility to guide your heart. that area is your responsibility. So the first thing that I've seen that influences the heart of man, the first one is relationship. The kind of relationship that you have goes a long way to determine the state of your heart. Having said all that we have said, that your heart will determine God's judgment, decision, reward, blessing, everything over your life. We have also said your heart determines who you will become. You have known the importance of the heart now. There is no doubt. Now see those things that gradually will affect your heart. Having agreed with me that it is not the responsibility of God to protect your heart. Scripture said, what is your praise the Lord? You should tell yourself, like I'm saying now, Victor, guide your heart. You need to tell yourself every time you wake up that Victor, guide your heart. God won't guide your heart for you. That's your own responsibility. Say, guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. These are the things he's saying. Number one, relationship. Proverbs 13:20. He said, whoever walks with the wise will become wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. It is very important that your relationship be guided. When you walk with the fools, obviously you suffer harm. So, by guiding your heart, the first thing you do is you watch your relationship. Your relationship has a lot of effect upon your heart. Because who you move with begin to pass information into your heart. Remember that you are a lover. Remember the content of your heart. Feelings, compassion, emotions, love. And you know that all these things has to do with relationship. So when your relationship is wrong, your heart automatically will go astray from God eventually. So these are the things we need to watch. Number one, you watch your relationship. Your relationship is very, very important. As much as possible, make sure that iron sharpeneth iron. Make sure that the deep call to the deep. Ensure that you always found yourself. Remember Psalm 1 that I quote for you. That's how you can relate all these points to Psalm 1. He said, blessed is the man that is not found among the scoffers. He will not sit among the evil people. Your relationship must be curtailed. Ensure that you build relationship with people of the same faith so that iron will sharpen iron. I was telling you the other time that you find definition to things from scripture. That's the way to walk in the will of God. Because there are a lot of things that we do out of ignorance and we are paying dearly for it. But when you know scriptures, you have read scriptures very well, and you rely upon the Holy Ghost to be reminding you, when you want to take a decision, scripture will come and it will guide you. Do you understand? But when you have wrong relationship, how do you want to apply scripture there? You know, I was telling someone the other time, I said, somebody is not born again. And when you get there, you started quoting like 2, 3, 4, 5 scriptures. What is the basis of the scripture? You quote scripture to someone who knows what you do. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Someone who is not born again, who does not know anything about Bible, and you get there and you said Ephesians chapter 2 verse 3, Philippians 7, and like, he doesn't even know what you are talking about because he does not know scriptures. But someone who understands scripture, when you quote scripture, he knows where the scripture is coming from. So if your relationship is not of God, it will be difficult for you to apply the will of God because they are not going to be the basis of what you are doing. And you can't stay at the middle. It's either you influence your family and friends or they influence you. There is nothing like, I'm indifferent, I'm in the middle. It's not possible. It's either you influence them or they influence you. What am I saying? Guide your relationship. And that contains your friends and your family. Number 2, environment. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 7. He said, leave the presence of a fool for there you do not meet words of knowledge. It's very, very important that our environment also, we have to carefully choose our environment. And for peradventure, you don't have a choice. You have to be there. Then make sure that you guide your heart very well. Our environment has a lot of influence on us. I'm sure majority are smoking in this town because they grew up seeing everybody doing it. And before they have somebody to tell them it is not good, they are already doing it. When you see things that they do around, gradually it flows into you. When you are in a city where they have a particular way of dressing, before you know it, you also start dressing that way. In Canada right now, they have their own, apart from the English word, they have their own slangs, some terms that they say. It's not a dictionary word, you understand what I'm saying? But they use it to express a lot of things. When you want to grab their attention very well, if you don't use those words, they will be telling you, come again. What they say? You are speaking correct English. But because you have not used their own terms, and you have not used say it the way they used to say it, they won't grab what you are saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very, very important that our environment, we make sure that we guide our heart. It is very easy for the environment to sweep into us, and before you know it, you become a changed person. Even before you know it, you become a changed person. And all this will not be an excuse to the standard of God. A man can go astray by following the ways of the environment and not following the ways of God. He will pay for it. The time of ignorance, God has overlooked. That time has passed. So you don't tell God it is because I'm staying in a particular place. That is the reason why I have gone astray from you. Remember, all these things goes to your heart. And we said the heart forms you, because the heart is what determines your journey. So your environment is very important. And your environment also, it comes from your upbringing. If you are born in a particular environment, it's possible that the environment flows into you because you grew up there, and everything they are doing is what you do, the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they act, the way they, you understand? It goes a long way about it. But you need to guide it. And that's the essence of Heartformation. Some of us are grown already. The only thing we can do is to reform our heart. You understand? There's nothing we can do about where we have been born or our upbringing, but we can ensure that we reform our heart to that of God. Number 3 is association. Association that you belong to. 1 Corinthians 15:33, he said, do not be deceived. Bad company will ruin good character. This is another one. Your association really, really matters. I don't know the Bible said, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. I actually don't know the kind of association that you have, that when you are discussing, you cannot use scriptural base as an ideology of your discussion. One of my friends find himself he was in an association back in Africa, and they were there, normal hangout and all that. And one of them was just saying something, and that my friend said, oh, God will do it. And the other guy just looked up to him and said, what do you mean God? He said, stop mentioning God here. He said, God doesn't have anything to do with what he wants to do. And he thought he was praying for the person. He said he had some things to do. And that one, I said, God will do it. He said, what do you mean? What do you mean by God? So what that is pointing to him immediately is that he is in the wrong place. Because what kind of association do you have that you cannot use scriptural basis to discuss or to take decision? So your association affects your heart too. And 2 Corinthians 6:14 also said, do not be unequally yoked. Yeah, that's the scripture that I just quoted. Unequally yoked with unbelievers. Number 4, tradition and culture. Tradition and culture also affects it. It's very, very important. Some of the things that affect our heart. Tradition and culture. The tradition of where you came from, the culture of the place you came from, probably your background, your tribe that you came from. it affects your heart. You know, a lot of people will say, well, where I came from, this is the way they do it. We have a typical example. I don't know much about, I know about Africa. Like, for example, they will tell you that, well, when they get back to a child, they must do this to that particular child in that particular area. You understand? So, and also before you know it, you also begin to do that, even though you are not staying in that place again, but because you believe you are attached to that place, when you get back to your own child, even though you are in North America, you want to find a way to make sure what they did, you do also, because the tradition and the culture has come into you, and you are not even considering that what is the basis in the Bible for it. And I want you to know that immediately a man becomes born again, we have to transform from a kingdom to another kingdom. Everything that has to do with culture and tradition of where you are, that one has gone. The old has passed away, the new has come. If there is any tradition, any culture that you needed to know, it is that one that you have in the Bible. The kingdom of God has its own tradition, he has his own culture, and that's the one we can emulate, except we want our mind to go as it. So you have Colossians 2, it says, see to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy or by empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirit of the world, and not according to Christ. That's just very simple. According to human tradition, that where I came from, my dad used to say this. Whatever your dad used to say, and it's not scriptural, that is wrong. When we became born again, what we said is we left everything for Jesus. Praise the Lord. And so, of course, religion also. Finally, religion. Religion also is very, very important that we understand the laws of God. Religion can affect you positively and it can affect you negatively. It's possible that religion will affect you positively or affect you negatively. Some religions, when you join them, they begin to teach things that are against the laws of God. And some Christianity will tell you about God, about the ways of God, and the interest of God. James chapter 1 verse 26-27. He said, if anyone think he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceive his heart, his person's religion is worthless. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God. The Father is this. What God wants is a religion that is pure and it is undefiled. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. We are going to stop there today, and I believe next week we go to, next month we are going to look at the session 12, 13, and probably 14. Thank you very much. The Lord bless you.